Hi everyone. So I'm deciding to do what's called Red Lipstick Fridays. And that kind of came about from yesterday when I was preparing myself to go out to karaoke. And I used to do that when I went to a job years and years ago where the office was really full of women. So, and I don't know, I just felt that red lipstick did something to women. It empowered them, and it did something. It just changed the frequency of somebody's feeling, the woman's feeling. So, and then I started thinking about how years ago, I used to do a lot more videos and to encourage people to grow, right? And then I had to kind of go through my period of dark night of the soul, if you'd have to kind of give it wording for that. So, and now I feel that I'm becoming more of who I was always meant to be. So this is why I'm doing this series, because I really feel that some people are meant to hear your specific voice, your specific story. So, and when I do counseling with people, because that's one of my giftings too. So when I talk to women or I talk to anybody in general, I will help them uncover what is very important to them and then help them become more of themselves. And I would say, always look at it this way, that the more you become yourself, somebody out there is waiting for you to become yourself so that you can help them become themselves. Okay. So, and I know that we go through a period of time where it's heartache, heartbreak, and woe is me. And we have to go through our own pity party, and that's absolutely fine. But the thing is that if you stay there, then there's a problem. So anyhow, so I wanted to start with doing Red Lipstick Fridays, where I'm going to communicate with you about different shades of lipstick that will go great with that day, and also talk about the tarot journey that I've been on. Not that I'm an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I wanted to talk about the revelation that I got this morning about it, and how the tarot helps you to understand truth to then turn into transformation. Okay. And for some of you that may know or not know, I am a deconstructing Christian. I was in churchianity for many, many, many years, where I had accepted an identity that didn't belong to me. And all Abrahamic religions, in order for you to be accepted in them, you have to pretty much say that you're nothing without God, and that you're full of sin, and that pretty much you're awful. So, and that goes against that goes against your heart, right? Like a child, if when you have children, I don't have any children, but like when you're rearing children, you don't go, "Oh, Timmy, you're awful." You have to admit to mommy that you're awful so that mommy will love you. It's ridiculous. So, but for some reason, we accept it to be true in society today. So, to start off, now what we're going to do now is I'm going to share with you the Blue-Red lipstick from Lip Sense that I will be applying today to give me the whole oomph that I'm looking for. So let's start off. So remember, when you get your lipstick, okay, shake it, you hear that? Okay, and make sure that the lips are clean and they are dry. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to start off with, when you're using the lipstick, okay, of course, it comes out in a glob, so you have to really be careful not to let it come out that way, or try to put on your lips, because then you'll have a big glob here that you'll have to kind of even out, and it's a little bit more difficult to do it that way. All right, so same thing. So excuse me, I'm going to wipe my lips here. All right, so how's that look? Okay. What's that look like here? I have to use my mirror. Okay. All right. So the first layer is for visibility, okay? Because we were never meant to be hidden, ladies, and men too. We're never meant to be hidden. So That was layer 1. And you have to let it dry, because if you don't let it dry, or if you try to smack your lips too when you're trying to do this, you'll smack shut. Okay, second layer. Okay, the second layer is for your voice. Okay, we all have a voice, and you know what? The way that society is built up today, make sure that you shut up and conform. Right? So some people actually like to fall into line because that's their personality. I, on the other hand, don't. I don't. And so the second layer, as I said, is for your voice. And because our silence has protected too many systems that did not protect us. How many times did you go into a job and they say, shut up, perform, and obey? Fiery engine red almost today. That's how I'm feeling. And I can't wait to start sharing with you what my tarot card reading shared, right? So some people would think that that's demonic because the church, the Christian church, has told believers or everybody that, oh my gosh, that's esoteric and that's occult knowledge. Occult just means hidden. And as I shared before, anything that's in the public view is for peasants, meaning that when religion first came out, the kings had one religion, but they gave the peasants a book to follow so that they would abide by the king's rules. So today, if what I'm sharing with you right now is triggering you and going, oh my gosh, that's demonic, it's probably because of the programming in respects to the religion that you had. And trust me, I was there before, so I understand. And I had to work my way out of it and then go, I'm not afraid to see what's hidden anymore. Because if I'm going to make a good decision, I want to be able to see what they told me not to look at. So if I'm looking at what I was told not to look at by the organized religion, then maybe I'd be surprised. And sure enough, guess who was surprised? So anyhow, so layer 2, now layer 3. This is the final layer for value. Okay, I know that there are men watching right now, so hi guys. Because your worth does not come from your job title or your relationships with other people or your productivity, okay? It comes from who you are and who you've always been. And the whole goal of being here, well, that's what I've come to understand, is that I'm deconstructing. So I'm coming out of false beliefs that removed my identity and removed a lot of other people's identity, men and women alike, that struggle, try to fit into this world. And this world, my friends, is not, the way the system is set up is not your friend, okay? So third layer, here we go. I'm feeling on fire today. All right. Here we go. There we go. So now, as you can see, red lipstick doesn't whisper. It declares. And today, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sharing my voice and share what my experiences are. And hopefully that will resonate with whoever's supposed to resonate. If it does not resonate with you, go listen to someone else. Because not everybody is meant to hear your voice, okay? Because it doesn't have the same frequency, and that's okay. I've come to understand that. So, here you go. There you go. Changes the whole dynamic of your face. And it makes me feel more powerful. It gives me, it shows me that I have a voice. Now, of course, you don't need any lipstick to be able to come to that conclusion. But when you do, it's an outward expression of an inner knowing, an inner acceptance of yourself. So, all right. So what I'd like to also talk about now is I shared a photo this morning in respects to the tarot card reading that I did. And I would like to share with you step by step what that meant for me. And hopefully this would help you to probably go into your tarot card journey should you decide to go into something like that. Okay, so I am going to be looking down a couple of times because I do have notes in respects to explaining things. Okay, so the first thing that I asked this morning is because of where I work, okay? I had to go on a sick leave for a few months actually, in order to recuperate and come back to normalcy. And upon my return, wasn't I just surprised that the company that I've been there for almost 4 years decided to do a restructuring and eliminated my role. And what that did is that for the full 4 years that I've been there, first 8 months or so, I was doing frontline work in order to just get myself acquainted. And then of course, management at the time saw the skill sets that I possessed and then put me in a leadership position. Okay. So I was training people, I was encouraging them, and I was making sure that people fell in line in respects to the quality assurance that I was also providing and that I created, right? So, isn't it wonderful that when you are in a job role or a position where your skill sets are actually utilized, who you are fits perfectly, okay? Now, the majority of us have a job where we don't have that. We just go, we perform, and we just do as we're told, okay? Because that's how the society is pretty much built up, right? So there's not very many things, per se, that one can do in the way that the industrial... sorry, I'm trying to figure out the word, I apologize, but the way that the system is set up right now, that doesn't bring joy to your heart and a bounce in your step. So anyhow, but for some reason, I was very fortunate enough to have a manager at the time that understood who I was and knew the fire and the passion that I had in order to bring order and to bring efficiency into the workplace. Then comes a new manager. So, ever since that time, it's been a disaster. Different leadership bring different energies and a different flow. And anyways, long story. The flow isn't flowing like it used to, and it's actually been revealing itself. And upon my return, wouldn't you know it, that I was not appreciated anymore for bringing the flow and the life that it needed. Because in life, there are always cycles, okay? Like in this world, they always want you to produce, and that as though there's never any lulls. In nature has cycles, okay? When you are going to plant a garden, you have to first what? Till the earth, make sure that you bring the life back into it, okay? Then, well, first of all, you have to wait for the correct season to be able to plant your seed. Then you plant your seed, cover it over, use water, right? And then what do you have to do afterwards? Well, afterwards is allowing the time for that seed to grow. And as it grows, you have to nurture and you have to give it what it needs so that when it's time for the harvest, you can harvest the crop, and hopefully by the work that you've given, that could give you a resourceful, like plenty of crops, right? Anyhow, so, but in the society today, they always want you to be harvesting. It's ridiculous. You can't do that, okay? There are times and seasons that that you need to further plant, or you need to till, or you need to do different labor in order to get the crop, right? So I'm that type of individual that would see how things grow organically. And if things are done out of time or out of season, I would like, hey guys, this isn't going to work. Like we need to do it this way, because I'm able to see and forecast the outcome. Jo with her red lips says, shouldn't be doing this, guys. We shouldn't, So I was the realist at work. And apparently corporate don't like realists. Aren't you just supposed to, just like church, happy clappy. Hey, happy clappy, praise the Lord. Just fall in line and everything's okay. And work is the same thing. Just don't say anything. Don't. Just... Jo, shut up. Can't you just tell that everybody wants to hear what they want to hear, and you get paid to shut up and comply? Actually, I get paid to make sure that shit, excuse my French, rolls well so that the goal that you guys have in mind actually works. All right. And I'm a French girl. And there's an expression in French, and I don't think it kind of translates in English very well, but it says, j'ai pas la langue dans ma poche. And what that means is that I have a tongue, so I'm going to use it, and I'm not going to hide it. So, like I shared, my first manager loved it. Second manager, she's backless and spineless anyways. Doesn't like people like me. Anyhow, so going back to the tarot. So when I first pulled the tarot, I was asking the question, when it would be, what's going on in respects to my work, right? Because I wanted to see, like, is it time for me to leave? Because, like, I think I already know, okay? I already know. When we ask those questions, it's because we already know. So I'm just going to read in respects to what do I need to know about the right timing for leaving my job? So that was the message that I got, okay? And so I'm going to show you the card. The card was the King of Pentacles Reversed, okay? So what happened here is that it said that the King of Pentacles Reversed is where it's a situation where your value, title, or your leadership have been dismissed. Huh, isn't that interesting? So I got the card that actually told me what I was already going through, okay? You're being challenged to reclaim your self-worth and redefine success on your own terms, okay? So obviously that's something that's been on my heart for a long time. Your instinct that tells you that the universe will provide, because I was sharing, like, if I leave, I know things are going to work out for me, okay? Because I've grown in wisdom and understanding, and I kind of have a way of understanding how the world operates a little bit more than I did a few years ago. And of course, that took time to get here, right? And what the King of Pentacles Reversed was actually sharing with me, it says, do you trust your power over you, or do you trust theirs? Okay? Nobody tells me what to do. Nobody should tell you what to do either. If it's something that goes against your heart. Now, I understand that because we live in a society where we need money, okay, to be able to survive and all that kind of stuff, I do understand that, okay? So some people need to go against their heart in order to survive. So, and if that's you, I just want to encourage you to say, like, keep pressing on, but don't try to find something else then that will fulfill the desires of your heart. You're not stuck there. Don't believe the lie that you're stuck in a specific place, because if you do that and you're always going against your heart, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to get sick. You're going to physically get sick, and the same fear that you had to leave, your body will put you in a position to actually deal with the things you're not dealing with. Okay, so please be mindful of that. That don't get sick over a job, because they don't give a shit about you. They don't care. Okay, you're easily replaceable, and they don't care. So anyhow, so then I asked the question, what energy will unfold now if I leave my job? All right, and surprisingly enough, the Knight of Pentacles. Here you go. The Knight of Pentacles appeared. Okay, so what's the Knight of Pentacles mean? The Knight of Pentacles is steady, it's grounded in progress. It's hard work with long-term payoff. A reliable step-by-step path forward. Now, it was saying to me, if I leave now, if I leave my secure job, okay, nothing is secure in this world, okay, you will enter a phase of slow but solid building. Not flashy, but sustainable. The energy supports you becoming your own provider, your planner, and your protector. Okay, and that's what we should be anyways. We shouldn't be relying and depending on a job or other people to be that for us. Okay, and if we do, it's okay, because we need to learn the lessons, right? And then we need to learn the pain of those lessons when people treat us like garbage. Okay, so this will be done with thoughtful and dedication, resourcefulness, and consistency. If anything in this world that we need is, if you stay consistent, just like building the garden that I was sharing earlier, is that if you're consistent and you till the garden, you plant your seed, and you take out the weeds, and you do everything you need to, consistency will give you the bountiful harvest that you're looking for eventually. we have to kind of follow the laws of nature in order to be able to understand how we should also cycle. Okay? So what is this message telling me? That I'm capable of navigating through this, this transition. I may not know exactly how everything will all turn out, right? We don't know what things are going to turn out as we go from what we think is stability into the unknown. Okay? But if I trust my work ethic, okay, and my loyalty to my truth, not their truth, my truth, and that will give me an abundance of power. Okay? So then I started asking questions about what are going to be the gifts and the opportunities that will come about by me making this change and this switch. Okay? So I asked the question, what gifts and opportunities will open up for me once I leave this job? Okay? So when I did that, I pulled the Emperor card. Okay? You can see that, the Emperor card reversed. Okay? Now, what does that mean? That means I'm reclaiming sovereignty from false authority. Oh, that resonated with me so much. My leaving this job will initiate a deep energetic dismantling of imposed structure, not just externally, but internally. And here's what that means, okay? Liberation from patriarchal systems. Guys, sorry. The system that's built, the financial system, that's built for men, okay? Men like to work and get value for what they're given. Women are different. That doesn't mean all women are the same, mind you, but the system, the way that it operates is based off a patriarchal, it's built for men, by men, okay? But then we can get into the whole feminist movement and all that kind of stuff and how everything's derailed and men are derailed, women are derailed, and everybody's derailed. Because why? We're in a system that doesn't work for you and that doesn't work for me. But we try to function with it. And then that's why people are depressed. They're anxious. They're paranoid. They can't sleep. They're overweight. They're lousy. They're lazy. They're all kinds of angry, and justifiably so. When you understand those things, you can have a little bit more compassion for people. Okay? But you can have compassion. But if you hear too many of those people that complain and they don't do the work to change, zone them out. All right. So it's liberating me from the patriarchal system that has told me who to be, how to lead, and how to measure my worth. Okay? If you just do this, it's a good girl behavior, right? Just be a good girl, shut up, obey, and don't wrestle the waves. And I got that in Christianity. Oh, my goodness. You're a woman. The Bible says that you should not lead a man, you should not be teaching, and you should be quiet and under submission. Right. Amazing that I believed that for so long. Because why? Well, there's other external factors that come into play in regards to that. And actually, just while I'm on that topic, I was interviewed by a man called Tim Mills, and he will be posting a video of my deconstructing journey. And I think that there will be answers there to touch on this subject here. So look out for that. All right. Now, what am I learning? What am I learning by doing this? I'm learning to rule and govern my own self. The way that the world is set up today is set up for you to be ruled over. Everything. Just the school system, if we want to talk about the school system alone. Okay, I know I'm going on a tangent this morning or this afternoon, but I feel it's really important. When we were born, we were put in a system where it shows us that in order to have value, you sit, hi Lori, you sit in a classroom, and that classroom has one person, and you sit in a row, and only that person can teach you anything. You are not asked to bring out your creativity. You're asked to shut down your creativity in order to hear what they want you to do. Okay? And then in order to reinforce that, what do? They also put pressure on you to give you tests in order to answer, to see if you were listening and to see if you were abiding by their way of doing things. Oh, you listened? Perfect. 100%. You answered all the questions right. And so what do I call that? I call that regurgitation. You just puked out what they gave you. Yay! For crying out loud. And then not only that, then you go to church, it's the same thing. The pastor knows better than you, the priest knows better than you. So what do? Just read the book. Ah, look at that. Read the book, ingest it, and what do they tell you? It's the inerrant word of God, and you have to soak it in, and then you have to be that. Because it's all about Jesus. Oh, happy clappy. So they teach you that in school, they teach you that in church, and then what happens? You go to university or college or whatever, same thing. So for like, let's say 20 years of your life, when the formative years, are you learning to obey, shut up, and fall in line? And then no wonder some people kill themselves, and they're depressed, and they drink, or they're on drugs, or that they're on the streets. You know, people laugh at those people that are on the streets, or go like, what the hell's wrong with them? Maybe they understood something you didn't. Just because you follow the rules and pay your taxes doesn't mean you're any better than them, just so you know. Okay? Some people can't live with them knowing what they know and seeing what they see. Okay? So, anyhow, going back, the Emperor reversed tells me that I'm going to rule myself. So I'm coming into my power. I'm coming into leaving what they tell me is safety. Okay. If you have enough money, or if you have a good job, or if nothing in this world is really safe. If we lived in nature, how safe is nature? Okay. So what this is symbolic of, the Emperor Reversed. The Emperor Reversed strips away rigid control. Systems that no longer serve, and outdated authority figures, including the ones that still live in your psyche, okay? It invites you to become the builder of an inner empire. The kingdom of heaven is within, okay? So if they can program you to think a specific way, you'll act accordingly. But anybody who has any intuition, they kind of go, oh, something wrong, something wrong. And you're able to understand why you're feeling that way and to change it. So, your inner dialogue changes your whole entire life. So it's now saying that I'm breaking down the strongholds outside of my own life, okay? And breaking down the systems and the mentalities that were given to me when I was a child, and now getting rid of that, stripping my way of that. So as I'm going to leave this job, I'm leaving what it represents. Some people would think, Jo, you're crazy. Why would you leave that job? You get paid so well, and you work from home. You don't have to worry about this, right? But when you know. So what it also does is that helps you define your power. And in my case, my feminine strength, my essence that was taken away from me in the system in pretty much every category that there is, right? So in short, this gift is your own throne, but this time I'm sitting on it my way. You don't tell me what to do. Okay? And as I shared, for you maybe too, I know that there are some personalities that have a lot more fire. I'm a fire sign. So for me, I have a lot of passion and I have a lot of oomph. So for me, it's just easy to just plow through and just keep going, right? So, but I have allowed for too many things to push me down, okay? As a case in point, over the last few days, I had a girlfriend of mine and I have a conversation, and she shared with me, she said, Jo, just play the game. Just play the game and you'll get what you want. I played the game in this system for a long time, and did I get what I want? Maybe for like financially perhaps, or physical things or whatever. But at the end of the day, nobody at their end of their life will go, oh, I'm so happy that I wasted all my life to go after physical things, but that they didn't listen to their own heart. So, and I have this thing where I talk to people and I say, as an Aries, I'll say, if I can't win, I don't play the game. And when she shared that with me yesterday, just play the game so that you could get what you want. You can get security and you can get this and you can get that. And today I'm like, no, I'm not playing that damn game, because it's still within the system. It's still within the confines if I'm saying that right, of how the system is ruled. So if I want to get what I want to get, I have to abide by their rules and their methods and their system. That doesn't work, okay? It doesn't work. If it works for you, fine. Then this video is not for you, okay? but for a lot of us, understand that the way that the system operates doesn't work. And the way that the 9 to 5, the back and forth. And so, yeah, Lori, and yeah, we're all brainwashed, right? All of us, and anybody who thinks otherwise, they're delusional and they're in deceit, right? So I'm coming out of that. I have, in order to do that, I'm asked to, if I stay, that means that I'm going to stay within the rigid confinements of the societal system that's killing me, killing us. Or do I take a shot and leave and say, you know what? Let's see what's really in me. Now, granted, I wouldn't have been able to do this years ago because I still had a lot of the system programming in me that told me to behave, to just abide, and to follow the rules, and to follow this, that, and the other thing, right? And I would have probably done so. But now, not so much. So by leaving, it's going to give me the empowerment as who I am to live according to my own heart and my own intuition. So yay! Who doesn't want that? All right. So then the last card that was pulled was the Sun card. All right. So the Sun following the Emperor reverse tells a clearer story. Once you leave this job and dismantle the false external structures, you step into the fullness of your light. Okay? No more dimming. See? No more dimming. No more playing small to appease authority. Here's what's possible. You become seen for who you are, not a role or title, but your soul's essence. So I understand that not everybody's journey is going to be the same as mine. But by me sharing this, I'm hoping to encourage that as I do what's in my own intuition, in my heart to do, that if it resonates in you for whatever phase in life that you're going through right now, and you need that encouragement, and my testimony and my life helps you, then great, okay? And if you also want to have someone to talk to for counseling, I can also provide counseling services, so let me know, okay? So this will also bring vitality, clarity, and creativity, and it brings that to be returned. I'll feel alive again, free to create, lead, and express, however that's going to look like. And for me, because I have a voice and I believe that I have things to bring to people, like I said, not everybody, I'm not going to resonate with everybody, but for those that are supposed to hear my voice, I want for them to hear what I have to say. Just as importantly for you, you have to become more of who you are, walk in your own intuition and your own heart's essence, so that you can encourage other people. Because I think as men and women, we want to feel like we're giving to other people. We want to feel value. We want to feel like we're contributing in a good and meaningful way. And unfortunately, as we kind of understand, when we work, it's beneficial, right? But is it really meaningful? Will it, at the end of your life, go, oh my goodness, I'm so happy I worked 60 hours a week in order to build somebody else's business, and they never appreciated me as soon as I went on sick leave. When I came back, they threw me to the curb. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate you too. Okay. Now, so the whole essence of the story, what's sharing here, is that I'm not just walking away from a job. Okay. I'm breaking free from a cage that was never worthy of my fire. Okay. And at the moment you do, okay, at the moment that I do this, my life will meet my radiant self, okay, in renewal and recognition. So that for me meant everything, because it was, we already know. We already know. We already have that within our heart. And what I appreciate about the tarot is, as I shared before, I know that some people said it was demonic and all that kind of stuff, and the energies and esoteric and occult and all that. And it's not. It's actually imagery. when we understand symbols, okay, that's something that they don't teach us in school too, by the way, right? They show us how to read and write, but they don't show us visual markers. They don't show us what things mean, okay? So when we understand how to see things from a symbolic perspective, then oh my goodness, does it ever tell you a different story, and that you're able to interpret it, okay? And then it's kind of like your own energy, your own vibration is bypassing your logic, okay? Because logic would say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, okay? But it's saying, look, this is a story. This is the story of your life. If you do it this way, you'll be okay. Okay? So I just wanted to share that because I felt that it was really important to encourage people to look into tarot for your own self. It's not meaning that you have to do it for other people or whatever, but I feel that that might be something that I could also do to help others to understand where they're at in their life journey. And as I get better at that, I'll get better at doing that for other people. So anyways, so what I wanted to also share now too is upon reflecting the deeper message of that, it's like leaving isn't about quitting. It's about choosing myself, okay? In that system, it's obligation. It's always obligation. And an obligation puts pressure on your heart and on your soul. And there's no freedom to express yourself. There's no freedom to reign. There's no freedom to be, right? To be. So anyhow, I just wanted to kind of bring this about this afternoon, and to kind of also share about the lipstick, and to say like, look, find a shade that will empower you, especially on Red Lipstick Friday. Red lipstick, right? Be bold. And I know for some of the women out there though, the fiery colors may not be in your, that might not reflect who you really are. But there's also other lipsticks that can do that. But what I do want to share is that don't conform anymore. Don't belittle yourself to fit in the world. However that looks like for you. For me, it was to just stay in a job where I'm not appreciated, where I'm not valued, and I was cast aside. Okay, fine. I have to spin that around and saying, you know what, if you can't see me for who I am, that's on you. Sucks to be you. I'm delightful. You're delightful. We're all delightful in our own ways. And if something doesn't suit you anymore, I know that sometimes it takes time for you to move forward because you have to process things, right? Because that's what we do sometimes. And I had to process this a little bit and not be as wild and just go, oh, screw this, I'm going to leave, or I'm going to do. I had to take some steps, and I had to get some realizations too. And I'm really glad that I did, because I took this as an opportunity to see where my heart was at, where my understanding was at. What am I really dealing with here? And my questioning, and I journaled a lot. And this wasn't the first card reading that I've done to help me process my emotions or my feeling. So I wanted to just share this with everybody. And if ever there's anybody that watches this and that's watching this in the future that may want to have more understanding on how this works, please let me know, because I will be doing a lot more segments every Friday to talk about those things, because I feel that it's important for my growth to share, and then for also anybody that that will land on, and that's meant for you. So I really appreciate Lori. I know you're still here. Thank you for being here. I always appreciate you, and what we've walked through. Walking through the stuff that we've been through is very can be challenging, but we want to keep pressing on and pressing in. And so, as again, if you're interested, Blue-Red was the color I wore today. And if you are interested in any counseling services, or if you're interested in possibly me doing a tarot card reading for you, please do reach out, and I will see you guys next time.